Hello, Dr. James Bogash, expert in health and longevity, and today we're going to talk about multivitamins or daily vitamins, whatever you care to call them. Most important thing, however, is the term daily. I have a lot of patients who they buy vitamins, they have vitamins, but they don't actually take them. So generally they aren't nearly as effective from the cabinet as they might be if you take them. But there have been multiple studies over the years on multivitamins, and in general, the studies have been positive. There are always a couple caveats with these studies, which I'm going to get into in a minute. But this was another one looking at a little over 241,000 people, followed them for 30 years, looking at all-cause mortality. So their likelihood of dying from anything. That could be cancer, heart disease, all of the usual players. And they found that there was a small change in those people taking the multivitamins. In those who took it less than once a day, it was about 8% reduction in all-cause mortality, and for took it more than once per day, and I'll cover that in just a second, it was 11% reduction. Most of those came out of cardiovascular disease, but here's the thing I always say about multivitamins, is that in general, they are an insurance policy. We should not be relying on multivitamins for our nutrients. They should be there when something starts to fail or you have increased demand. So my phrase is usually, I would rather have too much when I don't need it than not enough when I do. And so that's how we look at one of the multivitamins that we sell in the office is probably one of the best I've ever seen on the market. I've had some patients tell me that they feel much better taking that multivitamin. However, generally that means that the diet probably needs some fixing. So that being said, there are 5 tips that I want to give when it comes to multivitamins. Because when you look at these studies, they look at everything from the one-a-day type crap products to the higher quality physician-only brands like Pure Encapsulations, Biotics, Metagenics. There's a couple of them out there, Thorne, Douglas Labs, but that are very high quality. And as opposed to the whole one-a-day type products, those are generally pretty darn worthless. And so when you look at studies, you're going to throw all of those in, and the bulk of the people are taking the vitamins that probably don't do anything, and so the benefits probably come from the small group taking the higher quality multivitamins, and despite that, it still shows a benefit. So, that being said, for starters, I always tell people to avoid the once-a-day type multivitamins. That is the bulk of the vitamins on the product on the market. And think about this: like, how many meals do you need a day? Like one. We can certainly argue about the OMAD people, but in general, we have nutrient demands throughout the day. So if you took your multivitamin in the morning and it had magnesium in the afternoon, you were more stressed and you needed more magnesium, you're done. You missed that opportunity to have the extra magnesium. So most multivitamins are 3 to 4 per day, the higher quality ones. Don't look on the label. If it says 100% of the RDA of everything, all they're doing is trying to match. They have no concern for the actual quality and what nutrients really have been shown in the research. They're just dotting the I and crossing the T so that it looks good. So if it says 100% of the RDA, that's probably your first sign that you should probably throw it out or not buy it in the first place. No artificial colorings. It's ridiculous to me. Like, nobody cares what color their multivitamin is, but sometimes, most often, that's a bleed over because some of these vitamin companies are owned by pharmaceutical companies, and they're already used to making a red pill so that grandma remembers to take one red pill and one blue pill. And so they just kind of bleed that over into the multivitamin. It's not needed, and it's just a chemical added that is just going to play against your health. No gummy or liquid vitamins. I have a lot of patients who are taking gummy vitamins. Same thing with liquid. It's very hard to stabilize the B vitamins. So that's going to be the same thing in a liquid vitamin as it is in a gummy. So In general, I don't recommend them. It's much harder to get good quality in there. And number 5, if you really want to look at the cream of crop, you look for the multivitamins that have what are called methylated B vitamins. There's very few on the market. They're usually only physician brands, but things like P5P, peroxidyl 5-phosphate, methotetra, or the methylated form of folic acid, the MTHF, methylene tetrahydrofolate, and B vitamins as well, like this. Stay away so look in the B vitamin section. If it says cyanocobalamin, that's the cyanide. It's not going to have a cyanide-like effect, but it's the lower quality form of B12. Those are the things you can kind of look at to rule out instantly the high quality from the low quality. So if you're going to do a multivitamin, you might as well go for the higher quality ones. You're going to be it used to be $11 a month, now $20 a month, up to about $35 a month. We don't charge full retail for the pure encapsulations because I feel that it's just too important for patients to have it. So we keep that cost pretty low. But retail on those is probably close to about $46, $47 per month. That sounds about right. So expect to pay in that range. But if you do, they are going to act as a nice insurance policy to help with your quality of life and likely your risk of dying from diseases like heart disease and diabetes and cancer. So as always, I'll post a link to this particular study in the description. Make sure you like this video, share it with somebody who you think needs the information, and subscribe to the channel.